It's been said that behind every great man there stands a woman with a typewriter. Likewise, behind every truly evil man is a trail of criminality. And in the case of the recently deceased Al Gore, that trail may lead us all the way to hell itself. In the early days of the internet, when the digital world was still a wild west of dial-up connections and chat rooms, a young man from Miami was building an empire. Albert Gonzales, self-taught computer genius, was not interested in creating software or building websites. Instead, his focus was on a darker, more profitable pursuit. Theft on a scale never before seen. Now, when someone mentions a hacker, your mind probably conjures up images of someone sitting alone in a dark room, illuminated only by the light of their computer screen. You think of a hoodie-clad individual with more intelligence than social skills, hunched over a keyboard and immersed in lines of code. Perhaps you imagine them as a socially awkward outcast, living in their parents' basement and spending their days tormenting the general public with DDoS attacks and defacement of websites. Or maybe you think of a shadowy state-sponsored agent who uses their hacking abilities to gain an upper hand in the complex game of international espionage. But the reality of hackers is far more mundane. In fact, many of the people whose names are synonymous with the art of hacking, such as Kevin Mitnick, weren't actually criminals at all. They were security experts who used their considerable talents to penetrate computer systems, not for personal gain, but to expose vulnerabilities. However, the realm of hacking does have its share of unsavory characters. And these individuals are known as black hat hackers. These hackers operate in the shadows, exploiting vulnerabilities for personal gain or simply for the thrill of the challenge. One of the most notorious black hat hackers was Albert Gonzales, who lived a life that read like a script for a Hollywood thriller. Born in Miami in 1981, Gonzales' fascination with computers began at the tender age of 12 when he purchased his first computer. By the time he was 14, his skills were so advanced that he hacked into NASA's website, remaining undetected for months. When the FBI finally confronted him, they found themselves outmatched. The agents were left scratching their heads as Gonzales effortlessly circumvented their attempts to trap him. During this encounter, things got heated, and the young hacker even managed to intimidate the agents. It was an experience that left a lasting impression on everyone involved and solidified Gonzales' reputation as a formidable force in the world of hacking. As Gonzales grew older, his exploits became increasingly audacious. He soon teamed up with a group of like-minded individuals who called themselves the Keebler Elves. Together, they developed a reputation for causing chaos and wreaking havoc on unsuspecting websites. They specialized in two types of attacks: defacement and disruption. In defacement attacks, they would hack into a website and alter its appearance, often replacing the homepage with images or text that mocked the site's owners. Disruption attacks, on the other hand, were aimed at making a website inaccessible to users. The Keebler Elves were particularly adept at this type of attack, and they used it to great effect, causing major disruptions to high-profile sites. Gonzales' activities didn't go unnoticed, and it was not long before he caught the attention of law enforcement. In 2003, he was arrested in New Jersey for possessing fake credit cards. At just 22 years old, he could have easily gone to jail for a significant amount of time. But instead, he struck a deal with the U.S. Secret Service, agreeing to become an informant in exchange for immunity from prosecution. This unexpected twist of fate would change the course of Gonzales' life and set him on a path that few could have predicted. Undercover work can be dangerous. Businessism. Gonzales knew that he was in a precarious position, but he was determined to make the best of this opportunity. The terms of his agreement with the Secret Service required him to stay undercover for a minimum of 3 months. But he quickly proved to be a valuable asset, and his cover remained intact. As a result, he received a substantial salary and benefits, giving him access to resources that he had never had before. With this newfound financial stability, Gonzales was able to enjoy some of the finer things in life, such as fast cars and designer clothing. However, his true passion remained hacking, and he continued to use his skills to infiltrate computer systems and steal valuable information. One of the biggest challenges of undercover work is maintaining a level of normalcy while living a double life. Gonzales was constantly aware that one wrong move could blow his cover and put him back behind bars. Despite this pressure, he was able to keep his two lives separate and successfully complete several missions for the Secret Service. His ability to balance these two worlds made him an invaluable asset to the agency, and he quickly rose through the ranks of the informant program. However, as the saying goes, no man is an island, and Gonzales eventually found himself drawn back to the world of cyber. Despite his best efforts to stay away from hacking, he couldn't resist the allure of the digital underworld. He began working with fellow hackers and planning elaborate schemes that would make him a fortune. His most audacious hack to date involved infiltrating the computer systems of major retailers and stealing millions of credit card numbers. He and his accomplices would drive past stores in search of vulnerable wireless networks. Once they found a target, they would use special software to capture credit card information as it was transmitted between the store and its customers' banks. This information could then be used to make purchases on behalf of the customers without their knowledge or consent. As Gonzales's wealth grew, so did his arrogance. He began flaunting his money and his success, much to the chagrin of his Secret Service handlers. Despite being on the payroll of the agency, Gonzales was still wanted for his previous hacking activities, and his flamboyant lifestyle made him a target for both the media and law enforcement. As the heat began to intensify, Gonzales knew that he had to disappear before he was caught. He abandoned his lavish lifestyle and went into hiding, taking all of his secrets with him. The authorities were eager to bring Gonzales to justice, but he was a ghost who seemed to have vanished without a trace. They searched everywhere, but his whereabouts remained a mystery. For several years, the case against Gonzales went cold, leaving his victims and the Secret Service in the dark. Albert Gonzales lived a life of luxury. He bought a condo in Miami, a BMW, and Rolex watches. He also showered his girlfriend with expensive gifts, including a Tiffany ring. But his most prized possession was the $1.1 million in cash that he buried in a drum in his parents' backyard. With his vast wealth, Gonzales felt invincible, and he used his money to further his criminal activities. He funded new hacking operations and continued to live a life of luxury. But his reign of terror would come to an end on May 7, 2008. That day, he was arrested at the National Hotel in Miami Beach. Authorities searched his condo and found laptops containing evidence of his crimes. They also discovered the compact Glock pistol and the buried cash. Gonzales was facing multiple federal indictments, and the full weight of the law came crashing down on him. In 2010, Gonzales pleaded guilty to charges related to the massive retail hacks and was sentenced to 20 years in prison. His release date was set for July 2028, but he died earlier this year of an overdose in a Texas prison. The judge who sentenced him in 2010 said that he had shaken a portion of our financial system. Albert Gonzales' story is a cautionary tale of a brilliant mind led astray by addiction and greed. He was a computer prodigy who could have used his talents for good, but instead, he chose to pursue a life of crime. His death is a reminder of the dangers of hacking and the importance of using our skills responsibly.